Hey guys, welcome to the JemsCast, the podcast brought to you by Jems. Today I'm here, as I always will be, with Daniel, a friend of mine who I will be doing podcasts with, clearly. This podcast is brought to you by Americans for Mallards, a non-profit supporting mallards around the world. Daniel, introduce yourself for us.
Hi guys, I'm Daniel. What do you want me to introduce about myself?
Name, rank, and intention.
My what?
Name, rank, and intention.
My name is Daniel, and my intention.
Yeah, rank.
I guess I skipped the rank there.
Yeah.
My rank is, I like to believe, tier 5.
Good. Okay, so for future reference, for everyone out there, there are 9 tiers as far as from worst to best. So you said you're tier 5?
Yeah, it was tier 4 yesterday, but now that we're doing a podcast, I can feel a little bit more self-righteous about myself.
That's nice. All right, you can go ahead. On to intention, I suppose. Yeah.
Intention, that would probably be to feel better about myself. That's why
you're here.
Why I'm here in the world, I guess.
Good. All right, good. So, today we are going to be talking primarily about the bird known as a mallard. A mallard is basically a duck. If you just think of a duck and you'll think of a mallard, basically. It's the most, pretty much like the most common species, I think. It looks like the most common species. And so that's going to be basically the subject of this podcast for today.
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh, can I just real quickly tell exactly what I like the most about a mallard?
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
Okay, the best thing about the mallard is that he looks like he dyed his hair green.
Yeah.
But it's not like any green. It's this deep, glossy black green.
Yeah, it's true.
That looks like your Jems logo.
It does kind of look like, actually, yeah. I think you've got a point there. It's basically the mallard is a Jems duck, basically. Which, little known fact, during my 11th and 12th birthday, I dyed my hair green because I was at a skating rink. Yeah, and it was just like some spray stuff. It wasn't like yeah. But it looked really good. It came out in the shower, but it looked really good for the time. And so, I was really happy with that. So I dyed my hair green before Jems was even a thing. The Jems green, at least. Which I don't know.
The day when Josh was rebellious.
Yeah, it's true, actually. Well, kind of. I don't even know, actually.
Rebellious with permission, that is.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually quite true. Because, yeah, I actually bought it with my own money, though. I bought the dye with my own money. I went there, and all my friends showed up. You weren't there. This is long before I even knew you. And, well, kind of. And then we just we did that. Let me tell, for everyone out there who wants to know the colors for Jems. The Jems green is named 38 FA11. At least that's what I'm getting here. That is the Jems green. If you want to go to a color wheel and look that up. Anyways.
Okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep, there you go. I didn't know it either until just then. And I didn't know what to read off, so I just read off the longest looking one, basically. Anyways, so today we are going to be doing a recent Jems news is the next segment of this podcast. And currently, the Jems news, the most exciting thing, really, that I would say, is that we're 3 away, from 3 subscribers away from 100 subscribers, which is obviously a huge milestone. And I just want to say that is the Jems news of the week. Besides actually starting a podcast, that's also in the news. Besides,
so
yeah.
What are you gonna do for 100 subscribers?
I don't know yet. It really crept up on me. You hear YouTubers are like, "Oh man, it's crept up on me," and I'm like, "Ah, sure." You know what I mean? This actually crept up on me. Like, I was not prepared for this. Actually,
you watch your live feed of your subscribers into the sleep. You're a YouTuber.
It's true. But I don't know what to do. So if any of you guys are actually listening to this podcast and have any suggestions, go ahead and put them in the comments. And of this video. Yeah.
Make sure it's excruciatingly painful to Josh.
Yeah, make sure that's basically one of the criteria. That's pretty much the only criteria.
Drinking 100 drops of hot sauce.
Ooh, that's not bad, actually. Ooh, we should do that. Okay, so that is the Gems news for the week. Next, so now we are on to the segment where we basically we tell a story, and we compare the stories. So, you introduced this actually. So go ahead and start from like the beginning. Of the
Okay.
introduction.
So basically, we're gonna have a contest here about with the theme of Mallards, of course, and we're going to tell a story using our brains,
Yeah.
and
Pretty much.
we're going to tell a story, and you guys get to decide who actually wins this competition. And at the same time, we're going to be trying to make as many sound effects and making it most intriguing to you guys out there in the whole world web.
Yep. So Daniel, why don't you start us off, since this is kind of more or less your segment?
This is more
if you wanna
idea,
say
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, are you still gonna All right, I'll start with that.
All right.
Probably cut off.
Yeah, I can edit. What were you gonna say? You can, I can edit whatever, but no, you don't have to say it. Never mind. It's fine.
All right, certainly. Let me start that out.
All right.
Okay. Ready?
Absolutely.
Once upon a time, there was a duck named Mallard. Now, Mr. Mallard, as he was known to his neighbors, was an especially beautiful duck. He had this gorgeous green feathery hair stuff. Whatever the feathers on the top of his head is called.
I don't know.
But every day, he went outside and buried his feathers in a gopher hole.
Aw.
Now, this made his feathers sheen, and I don't really like where this is going.
No, that's fine. I think it's going great.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So why did the I have one question. Why did the gopher hole make it sheen?
I don't know. I think it's the chemical composition of the soil
I would have to say
within
so
the
as well.
area of where mallards live.
That makes
You know
sense.
where they live?
Like basically in sort of
Everywhere?
ponds and lakes. Yeah, everywhere really. Primarily around
It's like-
water, I assume.
Primarily.
Yeah.
Probably migrate and stuff too.
Probably. Like Canada
Obviously,
or
our
something.
sponsors
I
aren't
don't
going to
know.
be very happy with our lack of knowledge.
No, we don't really know
Mallards.
anything about mallards. I can read up. I have the wiki page open as we speak. But anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, so our Mr. Mallard here, he would go out every day and stick his head in a gopher hole. Now, one day, the gopher, Mr. Gopher as he is known, got annoyed with Mr. Mallard's antics, and he bit him in the head.
Wow.
Now, this took a huge chunk out of Mallard's top feathers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were going to say skull or something. I was like, wow.
And Mr. Mallard here, he didn't really like that because he was a very vain mallard.
Aren't they all? Really? Don't say that in
Yeah,
public,
they
though.
are.
Don't say that in public.
They won't like that.
No.
And trust me, ducks are not very nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Mallards are a little nicer.
Yeah, they're a little bit. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, so he had this chunk of feathers taken out of taken off his head.
Right.
So he looked kind of like a monk in some ways, with the little bald spot in the middle of his head.
I can see it, yep.
And so now he had two problems. First, he had a bald spot on his head. And second, that he, in fact, had no safe way of making his feathers shine and gleam like they used to.
Yeah.
So this mallard set out to find exactly how he was going to grow his feathers back and make them sheen more than they ever had before.
Right.
And Josh, well,
Yes.
how about this? You now take over that story
Oh, shoot. Okay.
because I've told it into a corner
Yeah.
that I'm not sure how to get out of.
Absolutely.
And I want you to take that and give me the best most intriguing story you can come up with.
Absolutely. Okay, so Mr. Mallard, he was basically, he looked like a monk, and he thought, well, I don't look very attractive anymore. Not that monks are unattractive inherently, but just because, you know, his hair is a little messed up now, and he thought, well, I'm not attractive. I'm not going to find, you know, Mrs. Mallard, you know.
Kind of like your hair was.
When?
Right? Like a little while ago when you had a
Before it was cut, or right after?
Great Clips.
Yeah, Great Clips. Never go to Great Clips. You want to
tell that story?
Yeah, I can tell it real quick. So basically, my brother went to college very recently, like a month ago, maybe like a month and a half ago. And so my hair was really long. You can look at a fairly old, like a month old, basically, Jim's video with like Pokemon cards or something. Anyways, it was really long. And so my dad was like, it would be really great if you could cut it because, you know, we're going to this orientation, you know, the school's pretty good. And so, you know, it would be great if you could neaten up a little bit. And I was like, yeah, that's fine.
And it'd be great if you could come here or at least get somewhere close to this level as your brother.
Right.
Is that what he said?
As in hair length? Or like...
No, like, he wanted you to make a good impression on the school, right?
Exactly, yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so... So the place I usually go to, which is, she has her own place, and she's really good, and so, she was all booked up, because it was, like, kind of last minute, and so there was nowhere free, and so we went to Great Clips, because that was the only place we could find, which we knew going in, alright, it was terrible, so it wasn't like, oh, it's gonna be great, and so we came in with a picture that was, like, basically what my hair was, but, a bit shorter, and so I was like, this is fine, you know, no biggie, and so the lady... She cut it so short that, as you see now, I have to wear it, like, up. Like, I have to put cream in my hair to make it stick up. Because when it doesn't, and it's just laying flat down, it looks terrible. Because it's like, well, it's not, like, obviously people wear their hair like I would like to wear mine shorter than I have. But for me, it's not to my personal liking for myself.
So, how did that make you feel, Josh?
It made me feel, I can only assume, exactly how Mr. Mallard felt in this story. Ashamed. Pretty sad. Not that I hold an incredible amount of pride, I guess you could say, or an incredible amount of vanity in my hair. Like, I know it doesn't look amazing or anything. Like, I don't think it does. But there is a certain... threshold.
But some people can make it look worse.
Right, exactly. And so the lady did, and so it looked really bad, I thought, for the first couple of days, but then it grew out a little bit after like a week, and it looks fine now. I'm okay with it. So anyways, what I was going to say, by the way, is there's a certain threshold that I would not like to be, well, I guess not threshold, but there's a certain tier that I want my hair to be at, and it was at, in my opinion, it was at like a 3, and usually it's at about like a 6, right? So I was feeling pretty sad. But anyways, so that's the end of my tale, but I'm okay with my hair currently. So, Mr. Mallard, nice. He thought, man, this is pretty sad, you know? I'm probably not going to find anyone that thinks I'm attractive whatsoever, because he didn't think he was attractive whatsoever anymore. You know, he looked in the water and he was like, man, this is terrible. And so he thought,
because we all know that animals use water as mirrors because they're not that they're not that ingenious as to use anything else.
Right, or anything, yeah. And so basically, he looks in the water, he's like, well, I look like a monk, I'll be a monk. So he became Mallard the Monk, basically. And so when he became Mallard the Monk, he joined the Mallard Monk, he joined the Ducks That Were Monks club.
It's called a monastery.
Monastery. Well, I didn't want to say monastery, I don't know why. I wanted to come up with something different. But anyway,
club.
So he went to a monastery that was also doubled as a club, like a little clubhouse, and sorry, anyways, sorry, I was imagining like a monastery doubled with like a bar club, like there's just like a bar like with a bunch of mallards sitting there with like some drinks.
You know, actually, the monasteries, one of the greatest the monks actually made stuff in the old monasteries, and one of the things they used to make was beer.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow. So knowing that, this was in fact a monastery that doubled as a club with a little bit of a bar, I'm not gonna lie. So Mr. Mallard, he wasn't into drinking though, so he kind of left that alone, and so will I, basically. And so, so Mr. Mallard goes to the monastery, and he's like, guys,
family-friendly podcasting, right,
yeah,
Josh?
family friendly. So basically, so he goes into the monastery, and he says, "Listen, guys, I want to be a monk." And they say, "Okay, you can be a monk. Just basically sign these papers." And he did, and he became a monk. Then, as his journey through becoming a monk became more of his life, and he became more devout and more, devoted, you could say, to the monastery, he became secluded from the outside world. He never went outside of the monastery. He always stayed inside, reading up on his, Mallard scripture, whatever he would read. And so, as he was reading one day, his window, he could see onto the street. He rarely did, though, because he wasn't interested in the outside world. But as he did, one day he looked onto I should say a street. I mean more like a path in the side of the, I guess you could say creek side. And so, because obviously they didn't have, streets.
Right, they're living in a treehouse monastery.
Exactly. And so he looks and he sees a beautiful, what are they called? Female mallards, basically. I can't find the actual name. But anyways, so a female mallard walks by.
There weren't all males at this monastery?
No, they were, but he looked outside onto the street,
okay.
Basically, and he saw a female mallard, a beautiful female mallard, and he thought, she is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I want to get to know her better, and I want to marry her one day. And so, quite ambitious, I know. Love at first sight, some would say. I wouldn't. And so he goes down from the monastery, club, treehouse, and he walks up to the female mallard. And Daniel, take it from here.
And I did not know this story was going to turn into a love story.
It's fine.
So, in fact, as he was walking up to this lovely female mallard,
mm-hmm.
he in fact fell on his face with his head in a gopher hole.
Oh no! It's a circle! Okay.
And guess what happened to this mallard? There was this gopher there.
Yeah.
And he went and took a bite out of the feathers on the top of his head.
So you mean another one?
He stood up and was like, who cares? I'm going to go up and walk over to this female mallard anyway.
So now he has a bigger, bald spot, basically.
Yeah, he's got the bald spot again.
Okay. Oh, so it grew back in between.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
That was your part of the story, but
no, but I didn't plan on it. I didn't know it would grow back. But sorry, go ahead. I get it now. We're good.
So Mr. Mallard went up to this female mallard, and Josh, we haven't been saying mallard in a British accent. I thought we were gonna say that in a British accent.
We can if we want.
So we went up to this mallard.
Okay.
That's more Cockney. I can't do British accents, as you know.
Yeah, it's all right.
Josh was talking to me one day, and he was like, "Really, Daniel? No one likes your British accent."
That is false. I want to admit that is not true. Wait, is it?
But you said it.
Did I say that?
You seriously said it.
Did I? I did not. I didn't mean it.
You did.
I'm sorry. It must have been a joke.
You didn't actually mean it. It was a joke.
Okay. I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, I swear, I didn't.
It's just kind of struck me to the heart.
Really? Okay. People out there, there must have been context. I wouldn't just walk up to you. Did I just walk up to you randomly and say, no one likes... Did I say that?
No, I was using a British accent, obviously.
Okay, okay. Well, anyways, for people out there who don't know, I joke a lot, and sometimes that joking entails making fun of people, but they get that I'm joking.
Wait,
so
really,
it's all
Josh?
funny. No, not really. I was just kidding. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Which is actually, that's a lie. I do actually do that quite a bit for anyone out there who's wondering, but they all know it.
Wait, really, Josh?
Funny. Really, actually, it's quite true, yeah. You wouldn't believe how many times I've really just dug in and tried to really get to the core of who people are and then just smash their hearts. And, once
That's
I shouted...
why you only have me as your last person willing to talk to you for at least 30 minutes.
You are my last resort, basically. Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. You are my last friend. Not really. So, go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. Mallard walks up to this female mallard, as we've stated many times before.
Weird color, is shallard a word?
I doubt it.
Because if it is, I don't want to be saying, like, something weird. Shallard is not a word. So shallard, I don't think it is. I'm looking it up, and then nothing's coming up. Okay. Shallard is not a name. So that's going to be her name. Her name is Shallard. Sorry. Unless you don't want it to be. I totally just came on your part of it. Okay. Because it's like
Please
a she mallard.
anytime.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
So, now Shallard saw this...
Mallard.
Mallard. Shallard saw this mallard in a monk's robe with a bald spot on his head.
Right.
And she basically got freaked out because she had never seen a mallard monk before. Mm-hmm. And basically, he walks up and he says, hey.
Huh.
And she says back, ah.
Oh.
That's what she says.
Yeah, so she's not an English Shallard, is she?
No.
That's too bad.
Doesn't speak her dialect.
Nah.
She was actually migrating for the winter.
Oh no! This is tearing my heart away. Go ahead, keep on. My heart is bleeding for Mallard right now.
So with that, he goes to the monastery's library and finds as many books on Mallard linguistics as he possibly can, and studies for the next 7 years.
Wow!
To talk to Shallard.
Is she not taken by now? Anyways, go ahead. Sorry, I'm getting ahead.
By the 3rd year, he goes out and talks to her again.
Oh. So wait, okay.
And it completely fails because he was studying the wrong language.
Ah, man. How do you figure out which one was the right language?
He just had to study them all.
Wow. How many are there?
He was a smart mallard.
Well, no doubt. He was a monk. Should be known.
Yeah.
How many languages are there in
the
Mallard
moral
tongue?
of this story is that mallards can be really nice mallards. And that, in fact, you should go out and check out AmericansForMallards.com.
I agree.
And give them a donation. Give them a encouraging comment on their blog post, one of their blog posts, and make sure that the mallards of this world can live in harmony and not get shot by some rednecks with 12 gauges.
Wow, that's a bit of a risky thing to say.
I know. I think we just lost all our southern audience.
That's okay. We're from the south, so we almost get a pass. Except we aren't rednecks, so we don't get a pass. But we are from the south, so. Anyways, well, what happened? I mean, I want to know. Is that really the end of the tale of Mallard? No, this is not the end of the tale of Mallard. In fact, we shall start up Mallard's story same time next week. Isn't that right, Daniel?
That is right, Josh.
Yep, we'll keep on going with Mallard until the daylight comes or I'm dead and gone, which is a Lord Huron reference, which is what some people should listen to. Which also brings us to the next segment, is what music we're into right now, or if otherwise, what song have we listened to recently that we have enjoyed a great deal.
Okay.
I'll go first because I didn't tell Daniel in advance. This was kind of an idea that we were bouncing along, so I'll go first so Daniel can prepare a minute. I am into, right now, a guy named King Charles. He's really cool. He's British, so if you're into that, he's really cool. He's got a cool deep voice when he's talking, and a really nice, he can go really high, or whatever voice when he's singing. And he's really nice. Primarily he sings love songs, but really what aren't love songs that are songs with lyrics. I mean, most songs are love songs, let's be honest. And so King Charles is a great guy, really, really good guitarist. So if you like guitar, if you like Ben Howard, you would kind of like him as well, kind of. It's like guitar and, well, it's not the same, so never mind. Pretend I didn't say that, kind of. I don't know. Try it out. I wouldn't compare him to Ben Howard, but it's there's a lot of guitar and a lot of just guitar and vocals. Anyways,
okay.
Daniel, what are you into right now?
There's this band that, well, basically, I guess what I'm really into, I was going to say something, but I'm going to completely change it right now. So what I'm really
Absolutely.
into right now is I was listening to a song by Brahms the other day.
Okay.
So old classical artist. Actually, I don't know
Spell
what
that
kind
out
of
for
artist
us.
he is, but instrumental composer,
All right.
right?
Could you spell that out for us real quick?
The
If you can.
instrumental composer.
Yes.
INS. I don't want to have a spelling bee
No, that's
podcast,
fine. You don't
Josh.
need to. I was just trying to envision it. It's okay. Don't worry
Are you
about it.
trying
I
to
could.
humble me in front of our
No.
in front of
Listen,
our
I can't
listeners?
spell. I probably can't spell Lord Huron, so that's no. Actually, I can. But anyways, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was listening to Brahms the other day,
Mhm.
and I heard this song, and it sounded familiar. And then all of a sudden, it made me
Yeah.
think of Napoleon.
Oh.
And it also made me think of building an empire and going and decimating other civilizations. So
Oh.
in fact, this was a song from this Civilization 4 soundtrack,
Ah.
which got me thinking, I'm going to find out if there's some playlist on Spotify that someone's put together of the Civilization 4 soundtrack.
Mhm.
And I looked it up, and there it was.
Wow.
And it's amazing because
I think the
I
whole
can do
thing.
my school
Yeah.
the whole time listening to Civilization.
Wow. That's pretty good.
It's perfect.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy with that. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah. So King Charles and what was his name?
Well, the main composer for there's no real main composer for Civilization 4 soundtrack, but
Right. Yeah. But
it's
The one
just
guy.
Civilization
At
4
least.
soundtrack. Look it
okay.
up
Yeah.
on Spotify.
Look that up. Look that up. So basically that and
That's
King
the playlist
Charles.
I'm listening to.
Good. All right. You know. So I posted a thing. Sorry.
Yeah, you posted a thing, Josh. What did you
I posted a thing, a Q&A. Follow Jim's on Instagram if you want. I didn't post on there. I posted on my personal account. But follow the Jim's Instagram if you haven't, and I'll be doing stuff on there more frequently from now on. So we have some comments saying this. So one person posted 4 comments, and James, you know him.
Go James.
He said another thing. So basically, this one person who they know who they are. They said, "Why are you starting a podcast?" They didn't put any question marks except for on their third question, so that's all right. But anyways, just a grammatical error. It's okay. We all
And this
we all have
person
those
should know better.
Yes, it's true, and we both know this person.
And this person once purposely unsubscribed from Gems just to
Yeah,
make
right.
Josh feel bad.
Right in front of me. It's kind of like, so basically, I don't want to get into the psychology of this too much. Is that the right word? I think it is. Yeah, it is.
Yes, psychology.
Basically, she, I joke around with people a lot, as I said before, making fun of them. She has come victim to that, quite frequently. And so, I
As we
believe,
all have.
as we all, yeah. But she in particular, because, I don't know, she can take it more than most people. And so she understands it more than most people, I feel. But anyways, and so she unsubscribed right in front of me, and it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But it was fine. It didn't actually hurt my. Well, it only hurt my feelings because I was confused, because I was like, well, if she didn't actually unsubscribe, if she was like pretending to, it was like if she unsubscribed and subscribed right back, I would have been like, okay, yeah, get it, whatever. But she unsubscribed and she didn't subscribe for like the rest of the day until later. So for a while I was like, wait. Does she actually just, like, not care? Like, I was like, it's fine. If you want to subscribe, like, it's not a big deal. But I was kind of like, oh,
So for
okay.
those of you who don't know, Josh measures his worth by the amount of subscribers he actually has on his channel.
That's true. Yep.
So
And
if
so-
you subscribe, it will make Josh feel better about himself.
It will, actually. But not by a great deal. But it will make me feel pretty happy. Especially
You will
since
make
coming
his
up-
day if you subscribe.
You actually will. That is true. That is true. Unless something very significant happens, you will make my day by subscribing. Anyways, okay. So she said, "Why are you starting a podcast?" Sorry. The answer to that is because, well, I'll tell you kind of the backstory. So I've been wanting to do videos with Daniel for a long time, and
So
well,
honored,
I wouldn't
Josh.
say a
Thank
long
you.
time. Absolutely. I wouldn't say a long time, but like a couple months, probably like 4 or 5 months. but I've been wondering, like, what are we gonna do? Because I primarily do challenges with James, and I do like vlogs by myself. I do my cool videos. Those are kind of like the three things that I do. So I was like, well, what am I gonna do with Daniel? And so finally, I told him, I was like, I want to make a video, and then we didn't have any, really ideas instantly. I mean, we had a couple, but they weren't like, set in stone or anything. And finally, one day, I can't remember how it happened, but one of us said, it was probably you, said, let's do a podcast. And I was like, that'd be great. And so that's why we're doing a podcast. Because I wanted to do something with Daniel, and that seemed most adequate. Next question. I'm assuming this is...
Wait, while we're talking, you mentioned vlogs. What's your next video actually going to be, and when is that dropping? Or I guess that's already dropped by the time
Yeah, it is already
out.
dropped. But my next video is dropping on... what is it? September the 22nd, 2017. It's going to be a Colorado vlog.
I'm actually legitimately looking forward to that. Because I feel like that's going to be a lot better than your California vlog.
Oh, it's tons better. It's really good. I'm actually kind of proud of it.
So if you haven't already watched that, go watch that.
Yeah, by all means. So next question that she said, second of three, is who is your target audience? And to that I answer, my target audience is my current audience, which is a mismatch of anyone who subscribes to me. So,
a mismatch?
Adult mismatch, yeah.
If it's
right?
a mismatch, that implies that they shouldn't be subscribed to you, like it's mismatched with you.
Dang. I was trying to think of a word for kind of like a random assortment. A plethora, yeah, there you go.
Plethora of random people.
A plethora of random people. I would say mismatched crowd, but apparently that's not correct, so I won't. So that's what I was going for. Yeah. Anyways, so a plethora of people, anyone, and they all watch, and I'm assuming they're interested in whatever, I want to post. Generally, what I mean? Like if I posted, they're like, oh, that's cool. So I thought if
Except
I
that one person who disliked your last video for the lack of my cool.
That's true. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you haven't made it this far, but if you have, hello.
Hi, thank you.
Pretty sure
for
you're
watching.
Michael's friend.
I'm sorry, Michael's not in this, but hopefully someday we can interview him.
Yeah, we're hoping to have Michael on the podcast, so we'll see if that happens. And then you can like it and say liked for Michael, basically. So the question is, who's your target audience? Okay, answer that. Then, do you even know what to talk about? What's her last question? She put 2 question marks on that, and yeah, Mallards, basically.
And Mr. Mallard.
Mr. Mallard and Shallard. The 2. If we get some art for that, that'd be great.
It's a mallard.
It's a mallard. Walking to Shallard. So basically, if any of you out there, even if it's not like amazing, if any of you want to draw Mallard and Shallard and send it in, we'll put it up on the next podcast. I'll put it up on the screen or whatever, or I'll post it on the Gems Instagram. I'll do both. So yeah, if any of you want to do that, that'd be great.
Because Josh wants to get some fan art sometime in his life.
That would be really cool. So yeah. Then James says, last question, how do you ignore annoying comments? So he's actually asking a pretty serious question here. So, in my lifetime, this is more directed towards me exclusively. I guess I didn't say that Daniel's going to be on the podcast. I didn't even say I'm doing a podcast because I didn't want to reveal that yet until I post this. But anyways, so I've gotten a couple of spam and a couple of ones that were just annoying in general. And the way I ignore them is basically, if they're not like too weird or whatever, I'll keep them up. But if they are like just kind of weird, I'll just delete them. And then I'll forget what they even said, like, the next morning, or, like, within the hour, even. So that's how I ignore those comments. I just delete them, because it's not annoying to me, necessarily, when someone, like, puts spam in my comments or whatever, because it does happen kind of frequently. And, yeah, so it's not that annoying to me, because I get it. It's just, like, spam. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think I've ever gotten any legitimate... No, actually, I have gotten, I think, 2 hate comments that were, like, legitimate. And they didn't bother me whatsoever. Because they weren't, like, any personal attacks. They were just kind of like, this video is weird, why'd you... Actually, both of them were like, why did you even make this? And
because it's fun.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, if he doesn't get it, it doesn't really matter that much. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal. So, hate comments don't affect me much. But, not yet, at least. Not... Because if someone I don't know what people could say that would actually annoy me, or get me sad. But anyways, so those are the questions.
I know
That's
it could get
Q&A.
you sad, Josh.
What's that?
Josh, you just lost all 97 subscribers.
Wait, from what? What happened? What did I say?
Wouldn't that make you sad?
Oh, yeah, I see. Yes, that would actually make me very sad. One time...
See, I'm telling you guys, he measures his worth by how many subscribers.
Well, it's because I'm trying very hard to create a prosperous YouTube channel, and you know, every time I lose one, I'm kind of like, man, you know, it's all right, but...
What did I do?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm... So, a quick story. When I posted my most recent Ian video, which was a while ago, so it's not like you're missing anything.
And if Ian Keith, you're listening, you really need to do a video with Josh.
Yeah, well, he's down for that, but what I say is he needs to make his response. Like, now, basically. He's just not doing it. You know, he hasn't made his response to my video. He said he would. He told me, he said, listen, dude, I'm coming back with fire. And I said, all right. And nothing. So, anyways, so when I posted that video, I actually lost 3 subscribers that day.
Wow.
Not even kidding. And so, that was kind of like, what the heck? Like, I don't know who... I doubt it was because of the Ian video, because I posted the other ones. I think I posted, like, one before, and no one really cared. And the second time was actually when I got the hate comment, when people were like, dude, what the heck? Like, this is pointless. And I was like, well, fair enough. And so, yeah, that was... But then I got them all back. Actually, yeah, I got them all back.
They
so.
probably just unsubscribed to show their hate for a week and then resubscribed.
Yeah, actually, one of those people, so it was in the same week, sorry, it was not in the same day. One of those people was the anonymous person we were talking about earlier.
Really?
When she unsubscribed.
Oh,
she was
right.
one of them, yeah. Yep.
Well, Josh, do you have a song for us?
I do have a song for you.
Are you sure you're ready to do this?
I don't think I am. I'm gonna wait. Right? Okay.
So come back next week to hear Josh's song about mallards.
I will. I've written out a song about mallards. It's all ready to go. I have the chords and the lyrics are great, but the only problem is I'm not too confident as far as presentation.
Do you know what my coach says, Josh?
What's that?
Our coach, mock trial coach, says.
Yeah.
He says, "Fake it till you make it."
Oh.
It's very, very true.
Yeah, it definitely is true. I have a hard time faking things, though. Especially when I'm... Well, apparently I don't have a hard time pretending that I want to be friends with people, because I become friends with... Well, a lot of people become extremely friendly with me when I'm not trying to be incredibly friendly to them, but they think that I'm, like, all into them. So that's a common thing that happens to me. Does that happen to you, Daniel?
I guess not really. I think it's the way you're... I think it's your sense of humor and the way you make fun of people. So.
Yeah, I think people think that I'm super like.
Speaking of which, is it actually a good thing to be facetious sometimes?
I think it's definitely a good thing to be facetious constantly. Well, not constantly, but a lot of the time I do, because you know, it's just funny. Well, I think it's funny. I'm very facetious, by the way. People don't know. Also, I do want to just clear one thing up. I do not mind for anyone out there who. Not my subscribers necessarily, because, you know, anyways, for anyone out there who's listening who's like, oh, I'm sort of friends with Josh, does this mean he doesn't really want me to be his friend? No, I'm fine with you being my friend. Like, I like people a lot in general, but it's just like...
previous comment backfired?
Yeah, well, I just want to clear this up before people are like, oh gosh, this is weird, he doesn't actually like me. I like you, I swear I do. I like everyone I know at the moment. It's just sometimes people get like, best friendy on me, and I'm like, whoa, I was not asking for this by any means, and it's okay. I was just sharing a thing that happens to me, and I was wondering if it happened to you.
Not really.
Yeah, that's all right. It's probably for the better. I don't know. Anyways, so that's what were you gonna say? You said something, and then I felt like I had to clear that up.
Facetious. Is it actually good to be facetious sometimes?
I'd say it's definitely going to be facetious. For any of you who don't know, facetious, if you type in facetious into Google, it'll come up with a definition. The definition from Google is, quote, treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor, flippant. Basically meaning, there's a scene in Doctor Who where, well, I guess I don't have to use that.
Well, you can use it. I just won't get the reference.
That's true. But you'll get the quote after I say
Which
it.
of the 14 Doctors is this Doctor Who reference from, too? I have to know that as well.
The 10th. Well, technically the 11th, but the 10th, as he's known to the world. David Tennant. So, anyways, by the way, if any of you are like, he's not the 11th, he's the 10th. I'm counting the War Doctor, so just so you know. Anyways, just for those, in the know. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so the line is something like, so there's a bunch of children missing from the streets, and the doctor's investigating where one of them just, vanished out of thin air, and the dad of the child walks up to the doctor, and he says,
"What's your game?"
Mate, snakes and ladders? Quite good at squash, reasonable. I'm being facetious. There's no call for it.
And I thought it was a really funny line, and so I decided I like that word a lot. And I was already facetious before that, but now I have a name to give it. So there you go.
It's like that moment you can attribute some experience that is common to you that you've never known what to call it.
Right.
And you have that moment where someone uses that word, and you can now use that word, and it makes you so excited that you can actually sound smart using a big word to explain something simple.
Yeah, facetious is good. Mallard is better, if you ask me. Mallard and Shallard, a nice couple. I can see them growing old together, but we'll see what happens. Shallard may have another duck friend who she is in a romantic situation with, but who knows? I don't know. I genuinely don't know at this point. So we'll see what happens next time. But for now, that is the podcast. That has been the Jems Podcast. If you have any comments, criticisms, or concerns, just post it in the comments, and I will reply or get you back. I will note it in the notes or whatever of the show, and
If you actually do say something witty in the comments, Josh will like your comment.
I will like it. I'll heart it and I'll pin it if it's fantastic enough. Yeah. Which fantastic was a terrible word to use just then, by the way. I acknowledge that. So yeah, Daniel, any passing remarks as we pass away from this this time in our lives?
Remember the Mallards.
Remember the Mallards. That's really, really what I want to drive home today, is remember the Mallards. And that you want to drive home. Sorry, I kind of stole that from you. Sorry.
No, it's your production. I can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, you can't. You signed the contract. I can use anything against you. I can take anything.
Stuck sitting here in this chair until my contract expires.
It's true, actually. Well, that's not true, actually, because we don't have a contract. Michael has a contract, though. He's contracted to me. Which is another story. Sorry?
Have you trademarked him too?
I have not trademarked him. I should. But Michael is actually in contract to me, as it is. Seriously.
You'll have to tell us that story sometime.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, when Michael gets on, we can tell the origin story of Michael and loads of other things. But for now, this has been the JemsCast, a podcast by Jems. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more. These should be coming out every Wednesday, or Wednesdays, maybe not every Wednesday, but these will be coming out on Wednesday. New videos every Friday, that's for sure. And we'll see you guys in the next video or podcast. I guess we will see you in the next podcast, but I will see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.